Hello everyone, my name is Rachel Lightyear, and today on July 18, 2023, I shall be talking to you about robotics evolution of how and why and where robotics evolution started and came from. You see, in the 1950s, there was a guy named George C. Devol. He made this robot called Shaky. And all Shaky could really do is basically he had a sensor on him that allowed him to move around. And that's kind of, for 1950s, that's kind of very impressive. I mean, it's nothing like how we have today. And Shaky was made in Louisville, Kentucky. And honestly, I would have never thought a robot would have been made in Kentucky. Kentucky is such a small area, I would have never thought about that. But compared to what we have today, Shaky seems like a relic. But back in the 1960s, Shaky was a huge development process forward because he was one of the first recorded records of a robot that could think of moving by itself. Now that we understand where, in a sense, robots started from, maybe we should go on to why and how they evolved. In truth, robotics has evolved from where it started with Shaky to now, and it's very impressive because most of the robotics that we have now that think for themselves, most of the stuff is basically it can saw things in half by itself, or it can move boxes by itself, or it can navigate the world by itself. Basically Ubers and all that other stuff. I mean, heck, at Amazon, they have machines that can bring you the boxes and all that. And it knows where to go, how to watch out for people, and all that stuff. And personally, there's a lot of theories of why robotics has evolved and how far it can continue evolving. But most of the theories that I have seen and found going to explain the reasoning of it is because as humans wanted to see what more robotics can do. And in a sense, that is a good thing. But at the same point, seeing how far robotics can go, it's made us as humans lazy. Because we are seeing how far robotics can go by making them do everything for us. Whether that's just mowing the lawn, or basically chopping out fruits and vegetables, to turning on the lights. Heck, we say, okay Alexa, daily, or okay, or Google, or whatever else, and it's an AI individual that, in a sense, thinks for itself. And humans have been putting more and more into robotics to see where they can go for it and how they can go for it. Which is honestly really interesting if you think about it, but it's also concerning because how long before we're like the people in Wall-E relying on robots to do everything? In a sense. Not fully, but in a sense. And basically, we've been pushing robotics to its limits to see how far we can go without having to do things ourselves. And honestly, if we keep doing it, how far before the robots start building the other robots and then we become obsolete? I mean, heck, we've got robots that can connect us from one side here to the other. I mean, I've got a friend over in Minnesota who I can call on video chat daily. Robotics has been evolving because we don't want to do things ourselves, so we try to pass the task off to robots or something else so that us as humans don't have to do it anymore. I mean, robots have not always been metal and steel like we have nowadays. Honestly, robotics has, in a sense, the base form of robotics is down into the ancient Greeks when they built things to basically move things by themselves, or the pulley is another form of a machine. Yes, it's not one that can think by itself like we're originally talking to, but that's just the first generation. The second generation, of which we have right now, in a sense, is the second generation because it can think for itself for the most part. It can do things by itself. But the third one, which honestly a lot of theories go into that'll happen within the next year or so, next couple of years, is the third generation when robotics is made by robotics. It doesn't need humans. It doesn't need anything else. It just needs the robotics. And honestly, it's making it so that humans become more obsolete, especially when robotics are making robotics. Now that we understand how and why robotics has evolved in a sense, what becomes of robotics in the future? A lot of people are hoping for stuff like the Jetsons, and in theory that's not really accurate because robotics, it's complicated. We don't know exactly where robotics is gonna go in the future. It could be TVs that float, or heck, we could have a implant and place it in our head, and then we get a whole visual screen like in all those anime what's it called, isekais or whatever. Robotics, we don't know what's gonna happen with it. It could be good, it could be bad, or it could be neutral. A lot of scientists believe that if we keep relying on robotics like we are nowadays too much, that we will become obsolete. And at the same aspect, they want us to be able to evolve with technology so that we don't become obsolete, as I said. And that's honestly a big thing because we all claim that we're independent free thinkers as humans, but when what happens when the robots start making choices because they've been able to think and be able to do things by themselves? A quote that I found earlier, like a while ago, I don't remember who it was. Robotics will keep evolving, but if we don't keep evolving with it, then what sets us apart from robotics that we have thrown away in the past? We will become the obsolete.